Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Bandwidth for iFive for the iPhone is provided by CacheFly at CacheFly.com.
This episode of iFive for the iPhone is brought to you by Harry's. For guys and gals who want a great shave experience for a fraction of what they're paying now, go to harrys.com. Get $5 off your first purchase by entering the code IFIVE when you check out. Oh, hello everybody. This is iFive for the iPhone, episode 108, which will henceforth be known as the big-ass new iPhone 6 show. We cover the latest iPhone apps, tips and tricks, and of course news on this fine program. I am Sarah Lane, your guide to all things iPhone and iOS. Let's get nuts. Number 1. Well, color us all. Not really that surprised. We've got 2 new iPhones coming out next Friday, September 19th, and as expected, Apple announced the 4.7-inch iPhone 6 and the 5.5-inch iPhone 6 Plus. A lot to absorb here. The design on both is definitely new. The phones are thinner, they've got rounded edges, plus on the inside, new A8 processors designed to be more energy efficient and also more powerful. Now the Motion coprocessor, aka the M8, also got an upgrade and can now track activity like walking upstairs and the distance of your travel, kind of good. The camera stays at 8 megapixels, which is the same as the 5S, but both iPhone 6 models have a new autofocus mode. And here's a little gripe that I have right away. I have pretty small hands, and I'd probably go with the smaller iPhone 6. I mean, the 5S already feels pretty big to me, except that the 6 Plus has optical image stabilization. That's a feature that the 6 doesn't have. Now, because I want the absolute best possible camera in my iPhone, because basically it's my camera that does other things, I already feel pressured to buy the bigger iPhone than the one I really want. That's never happened before. I don't know, it's a conundrum. What am I going to do? Then again, I also use an iPad. So for people with just one Apple device, and let's say that's an iPhone, maybe the bigger one just makes more sense. Oh, and the 6 Plus also does landscape mode for app screens, which is also pretty cool, but again leaves the 6 as that less cool version. Or at least that's how it's coming across to me. I definitely want to hear your thoughts, so do give me feedback at iFive@twit.tv. Before we move on, let's talk a little bit about price. The iPhone 6 will start at $199 for the 16 gig model, $299 for the 64 gig, and then $399 for the 128 gigabyte model. The iPhone 6 Plus starts at $299 for the 16, $399 for the 64 gig, and $499 for the 128 gigabyte model. Wow. You can pre-order this Friday on September 12th for a September 19th shipment. That's, 2 Fridays from today. But mark my words, if you're not ready to order at 11:55 p.m. on that Thursday night, look for shipping date slips. It happens every year, so be vigilant. Number 2, let's talk a little bit about iOS 8, which we heard a lot about back in June at WWDC and has been in beta ever since, with the last beta seeded to developers on August 4th. I think that was beta 5. Today, Apple released the Golden Master of iOS 8 ahead of its over-the-air release of iOS 8 to the public, which will be next Wednesday, September 17th. So you have time to upgrade your iPhones if for some reason you're not going to get a new one. Some new features that I'm definitely excited about. iCloud Drive, that's Apple's sort of Google Drive or Dropbox competitor. In fact, the company just released finalized iCloud pricing. You've got 5 gigabytes for free, 20 gigabytes for $1 a month, 200 gigabytes for $3.99 per month, 500 gigabytes for $9.99 per month, and a terabyte for $19.99 per month. Plus, you've got the brand new Health app. That's a part of iOS 8. That's an activity tracker, a heart rate monitor, and also the place that other health and fitness apps can talk to each other. iOS 8 adds third-party keyboard support, something Apple never did before. Continuity between your iPhone and your iPad and your Mac with a feature called Handoff. Just think, your iPhone's charging in the other room, somebody calls you, but you can answer via your Mac, which is right in front of you. Very price. Messages will get audio support in iOS 8. I could go on and on with the feature set, but suffice it to say, pretty excited about this update. It's a big one. It's also worth mentioning that the Health app is only going to run on the iPhone 4S or newer, and the continuity features I mentioned need at least an iPhone 5. So time to upgrade if you can or want to. Number 3. Okay, I know this isn't an iPhone, but we definitely have to spend a little time with Apple's new smartwatch called the Apple Watch. Not to be confused with the iWatch, which is what we've all been calling it for months. We got a watch. It's called the Apple Watch. It's going to integrate nicely with the iPhone as well when it comes out next year. And yeah, I did say next year. The Apple Watch will debut at a starting price of $349 sometime in early 2015, and we don't even have a specific date yet. Kind of sucks. I was hoping to get one for, the holidays. It comes in 2 sizes and 3 different models. You have the regular watch, you have the Watch Sport, and then you have the Watch Edition. The watch is the normal version. The Sport Edition comes with a stronger screen and a better strap, presumably for exercise or more hardy activities. Then the Edition is a gold version of the watch, which will probably be $1 million. Just kidding, but certainly higher than the $349 base price. That's for sure. All 3 of the models feature a new operating system built specifically for the watch. So it's iOS-like, but it's not actually iOS. Kind of cool. What it does have is Siri integration, plus heart rate tracking and motion. It'll track your GPS as well. If you connect it to an iPhone, the Apple Watch can handle custom notification options from apps or email or your calendar. Apple is already pushing developers to make apps for the watch too, and you can bet that they will. The watch does require at least an iPhone 5 for pairing, so what do you think? I mean, I haven't worn a watch in about 20 years, but I do like jewelry, so having something that looks nice on my wrist appeals to me. But I think I gotta go with the smallest model because, again, small wrists. And the small face, is it too small? We'll see. This episode of iFive for the iPhone is brought to you by Harry's, a new advertiser. They're new, they're innovative, and they're disrupting an industry that we've all had to pay into for years. What industry am I talking about? Razors. Razors are not fun to shop for, right? When you shop for a razor in a drugstore, you don't get something that looks like this. You've got like razors that are behind these locked plastic. It's just a mess. You ever looked at razor prices lately? They are seriously overpriced. It makes no sense at all. $4 per razor for Procter & Gamble's Gillette Fusion. Over time, you're just paying too much. Razors are too expensive. Retailers have installed those theft prevention systems in the razor aisle. It's too much. That's why I love what Harry's is giving us. For the first time, we get a great shave at a fair price. Harry's was founded less than a year ago by a couple guys who knew that there was a better way. They focus on giving a great shaving experience for the fraction of the price of other razor blades. They have a nice, clean product design. It's kind of less but better. High quality blades. They have their own factory in Germany. Sharpness, strength, very important to the folks at Harry's. And it's convenient because you're ordering online and you never have to go to that razor aisle again. In fact, you can go to harrys.com and order the engraved Winston set. It'll be shipped right to your door. It's very nice, gives you a great shave, and the price is the best part. If you're interested in getting to the next level of shaving, and hey, so many of us are, go to harrys.com. That's HARRYS.com, harrys.com, and then use the promo code iFive, and you'll get $5 off your first purchase. That's harrys.com, promo code IFIVE. And thanks to Harry's for their support of iFive for the iPhone. Number 4, we got a great and let's call it extremely geeky tip from Alaric? I don't know, hopefully one of those is right, who wrote us right after Apple's keynote ended on Tuesday, literally right after it ended. Alaric writes, Leo expressed concern about using Apple Watch when writing it out because it's actually the logo for Apple and then Watch rather than the word Apple Watch. So just find a web page with that Apple character on it, copy the character to the clipboard on your phone, then create a keyboard shortcut and paste it in as the desired text. Then just shortcut with something simple like AAA. A little clunky, but workable. Ah, the duh tip of a true Apple purist, which I love. I'm gonna set mine up right now. Finally, number 5. Let's actually talk about an app today, huh? Let's talk about Facebook Slingshot. Remember that? We covered it back in June. And it's actually already made a bit of a dramatic pivot. So, as a reminder, Slingshot originally started as Facebook's Snapchat clone. But the twist was that if you sling something like a photo or video to a friend or friends, they have to sling something back to you in order to unlock whatever you originally sent. So it's like this infinite loop. It's an infinity scarf, if you will, of content. And a really good experiment on Facebook's part to see if that approach would keep us all slinging, because we wouldn't be able to handle not knowing what had been sent to us. But guess what? Nobody cared. Or at least nobody in my 900-ish friend group on Facebook cared, because I wasn't getting any slings. I actually forgot about the app, to be perfectly honest. So it's no surprise that Facebook just did away with that whole locked gimmick thing. Now when you open the app and take a photo or video, you can choose to lock it and make your friends send something back in order to view it, but it puts that power in your hands, not the app's. It's actually unlocked by default. Meaning, whoever you send it to can view and then choose to ignore you if they so desire, because we're busy. If you took a really, really, really good shot of you and George Clooney kissing, I mean, sure, lock it up, but it better be good, or I'm going to be annoyed. Otherwise, I'll get to it when I get to it. And that does it for this episode of iFive. Hope you had fun, everybody. All of the apps and links and other information from the show is always at twit.tv/iFive. You can email us feedback at iFive@twit.tv, and I want to see some feedback this week because, hey, that was quite an announcement. Leave us a voicemail at 614 on iFive if you prefer to talk rather than type. Or you can always send us a video with an app review of your own. I'm Sarah Lane, and we'll see you next time on iFive for the iPhone.